Duda puts your brand front and center. With Duda's extensive white label capabilities, you can make the entire editor your own. Use your own logo, your own domain, your own email address, add even your own color palette. With Duda, your clients are your own.
All right, I think we are live here. Ripple, how are we doing today?
Hello, good morning, good afternoon. How are you?
I'm doing well, thanks. Doing well, thanks. Yeah, looking forward to our upcoming conversation here.
Great. So,
yeah,
looks like you're in the office there.
I am. I'm in the office here. We've got our headquarters here in Louisville, Colorado, nestled right in between Denver and Boulder. Office to get away to. How about you? Where are you at today?
So we're located in Chicago, so just in the west side of Chicago, and we're actually we're pretty much remote overall, but we have quarterly in-office weeks, so where employees fly in from all over. And then it's great to see everyone, but what it means is conference rooms get harder and harder to book. So I had to make sure that I got a room in advance, otherwise I would be on this webinar in a crowded area and that would not work. Okay,
well, it looks like I'm having some bad audio on my side. I'm getting a comment here. Let's see, is anyone...
It was like that initially. I'm not hearing the bad audio anymore. There was a little bit of first when you were on, but it sounds better to me now.
Maybe we get some confirmation from someone in the chat. Is everything sounding good now? We'll see here. We'll let it come in. Well, while we're doing that, while we're letting folks join in here, how is everything in Chicago today? I know you sounds like you are struggling to find a conference room, but great. It sounds like audio is doing better. Great, good to hear.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been I was reading the other day, we've had more snow in 2 weeks of December than we did all of last winter. So I'm sure you guys get a lot of snow in Colorado, but we have not had a lot of snow lately. But not so far this year. It's been a pretty healthy start. So it looks very different than it normally has been in winters.
Yeah. Not to bore the audience here, but we did get our first snow, which is very late for us this year. We got about 6 inches last week, and usually comes around Halloween. So it was a little late for us this year. But as a avid snowboarder in Colorado, I'm very excited for the snow and ready for more to come. So so we'll give this just a couple more minutes and then we'll get started here. Where's everyone calling in from today? We got some people in the audience. I'd love to know where people are located. Looks like someone from Mongolia in here. That's amazing.
Now, are they based in Mongolia or just visiting? That's what I wonder.
Right? That's a good question. What time is it in Mongolia right now, if you're there? And yeah, love to hear where people are calling in from and listening in from today, and maybe what your title is, or maybe what industry or vertical. Looks like we got some Brookfield here, Brookfield, Wisconsin. Awesome. Probably feeling some cold weather there as well.
Could be some incoming trash talk because the Bears-Packers played a couple of days ago. Didn't go so well for the Bears, as it has been lately.
Yeah, the Bears succumbed to the Packers, it looks like, huh?
You got 2 weeks. Got a rematch in 2 weeks. So
there you go. Well, as a New England Patriots fan, we had our bye week this last week, so I'm excited for this coming week up against Buffalo. We'll see how we do. Yeah. Well, I'll tell you what. Why don't we go ahead and get started here? And again, my name is Austin Whitaker. Head of mid-market sales here at Duda. With our guest of honor here, Ripple. I'll let you kind of introduce yourself, and then it looks like it's 2 a.m. in Mongolia, by the way. We appreciate you listening in. That's wonderful. But yeah. Why don't Ripple, if actually, Anton, if you want to go ahead and pull some slides up here, that'd be great. Thank you. And yeah, Ripple, why don't we just jump into a quick intro here?
All right. Well, good morning. I was going to say good evening to the individual from Mongolia, but I will say good morning since it's 2 a.m. there. So good morning and good afternoon to everyone where you're logging from. My name is Ripple Jain. I'm Senior Director of Product Management at CCC. I focus on mostly all things consumer for our automotive sector as well. Yeah, it's a pleasure to be on this call.
Wonderful. Yeah, really glad to have you here, Ripple. Again, really excited to kind of dive into, not just CCC, but kind of how you help, your vertical. I think, everyone here on this call today, I would imagine, working with clients in some form or fashion. And the goal of today's call really is to, help understand how you guys are successful with that and kind of what you've learned along the road and hopefully share some of that knowledge with some other folks on the call. So why don't we start off by, telling us a little bit about CCC, what you guys do, what kind of, tell me a little about your verticals.
Well, I'm willing to venture to make a bet that most folks have not heard of CCC. So we are in the auto claims and collision repair industry. And so we basically provide the technology platform for a lot of the major players that are in the auto collision space. So those are your major insurance companies, such as State Farm, Allstate, Farmers Insurance, companies that we've all heard of. And we provide the platform in which their claims are created and managed. And then on the flip side of that, there are other players in the auto collision space as well. They are car manufacturers, which provide information about how much car parts cost, for example. This is when collision or insurance companies want to create their estimates. They want to understand how much parts cost. They get all that information from the automotive providers. And then more relevant to today's conversation, we also provide the technology platform for repair shops as well. So what that means is these body shops that are receiving claims data from the insurance company. So if somebody wants to get a repair done, you file a claim. The State Farm will kind of take all your information and eventually you decide that you're going to get it repaired. They send all that data over to the body shop. And then at the body shop, the platform that they run their business on, how they receive all the data, how they manage their estimates, how they manage some of the payroll information, the day-to-day activities is all managed on that platform. So we kind of manage the entire technology platform for a lot of the major players in the space.
Wonderful. Yeah. So auto repair shops, a little bit of insurance, but as you said, I think, kind of the repair shops are a little bit more relevant to today's conversation. As you're providing, software for these, small businesses out there, like what really led you to think, hey, we need to start offering websites as part of our package?
Yeah, so it's a very, I was outside the space when I came in, so I had quite a bit of learning curve, and it is a different industry or different type of market than other markets. That is because from a body shop perspective, you have a lot of your business coming from insurers historically, right? So insurers have select preferred networks. And if you file a claim, an insurance company might say, well, we have many shops on this preferred network. Where would you like to get your repair done? Okay, this body shop is a couple of miles from you and it's our network. Let's go ahead with that. And most customers will just say, yeah, that's fine. I just want to get done. I want my car back on the road as quick as possible. So historically, the shops have relied on that work coming in. And we have focused on that aspect of when that customer has gotten into the shop, when they're getting the repair done, and the post-repair aspect of it, right? That's what CCC has focused on historically. So with pandemic, with the demand and the increased digital presence, a lot of that started to change. And that trend has really changed and kind of emerged as the trend to stay. And that is more and more consumers have kind of changed their habits as how they are trying to look for body shops. So if you get in an accident, of course, it depends on the severity of the accident as well. But let's say it's a minor fender bender that you get into. Historically, you might have said, well, I'm going to just call my insurance company and deal with it and let my insurance company route that wherever. But now you're more likely to Google, hey, what should I do in this type of situation? So, and then what type of shop do I need to go to? What are all the auto body shops near me, right? So you can see why websites start to get more important because now you can't rely on the insurance company to get that business anymore. Lead generation, and I'm hearing this more and more now, especially post-pandemic, is getting to be of paramount, utmost importance for not just the small mom and pop body shops, but also the big players in the space. They're all focusing their efforts on how can I just focus on getting more leads, converting more leads. They're looking at all sorts of metrics now where historically they have not done that. Now, on the flip side, the consumers themselves, right, their expectations has changed. They want tools to be able to, I think we're all familiar, if you have like younger kids or teenagers, no one wants to call anyone, right? They want to look at what is the easiest way for me to schedule something. Can I open up the app, go to the website, can do that. So why websites is because we know like how, in terms of emerging trends in the industry and what the shops need. And right now, or what we found post-pandemic, was that they needed ways to be able to attract more customers. And the website in themselves, with the existing history of the website in the space, it's not a technology forward industry per se, right? So a lot of business websites historically have just been kind of like a digital business card. Here's a picture of the shop. Here is an email address and a phone number. And that's kind of it, right? So like all those tools that you need for a website now, reviews, channels to interact with the shop, we're all not present. So those are all ways that we could provide that. And certifications is right part of that, because also people are looking at not just any body shop, they're asking, what is your capability? Are you certified to repair my BMW, right? Are you EV? What could you work on EVs? This is information that they need. So that is a reason really why we started focusing on websites.
Wonderful. I appreciate that breakdown. I think, what really caught my attention there is, around kind of the lead generation and discoverability, right? And, I don't want to jump too far ahead here, but I'm curious if you've seen that discoverability, kind of transform a little bit over the past couple of years with the introduction of, AI search bots and things of that nature.
Yes.
Have you noticed your SMBs mentioning anything about shifting from, maybe traditional search engines into kind of AI platforms?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. That's been a topic of focus that, and having conversations with Duda, we know 2 years ago when we started working on websites, it was all SEO, right? SEO. Everyone would just use that term. We know that terminology is changing. I don't know if they have finalized a term like AIO, but basically the whole idea is we know more and more people are, whether it's via Chat GPT or even Gemini now, they don't want to actually Google. They're just like, tell me the body shop I need to go to. I drive this car. I live here. Tell me the body shop I need to go to. And what is the AI engine doing? They're looking at websites, right? They're getting this information from the websites to be able to give that information up. So it's more critical now in the AI age than ever.
Yeah, which I mean leads us kind of into our next slide here, right? Online presence being critical. Before we get to the next slide that kind of breaks this down a little bit, I just want to encourage the chats. If there's any questions, feel free to chime in. We'll see what we can get to throughout the presentation. But don't be shy. Feel free to ask any questions along the conversation here. So online presence is critical, right? Like maybe we could expand on that a little bit here, Ripple.
Yeah, and so I think it's a lot of people look at reviews. I think we're all, when we buy products, we look at the reviews. Difference between a 4-star and a 5-star can make or break a restaurant in terms of their business. It's getting to be the same thing. Expectations have changed. People want Google reviews. We offer, of course, our platform. We have a platform called Carwise.com, which is kind of like an open table for body shops as well. And we're very much focused on reviews. We know shops are looking really closely at that on Carwise. And so it's not just that. They're looking, but more consumers in general, they're expecting Yelp and Google reviews for body shops. And that trend has definitely emerged. That is the number one thing that people look at when they want. And then we already talked about this. Now, 50% of adults have Googled something. Now it could be, I don't know what that percentage is for AI searches now, right? Maybe 20, 25%, something like that. But definitely I can imagine in a few years that's going to be replaced by 50% of US adults are using an AI service to find out about the business before they go. So it's not just having, just a digital business card. It's not going to cut it. You're going to have to provide information about your shop. You're going to have terms in there or capabilities that these search engines are looking for. So because they want to provide that best recommendation to that customer.
Yeah, absolutely. I couldn't agree more. I think myself personally, I have certainly shifted a lot of my searches have gone from Google into, ChatGPT or Gemini, things of that nature, just to kind of get a different perspective and sometimes a quicker result. Right. So, yeah. Well, let's jump into, kind of like the reality of the shops today, right? Like what is, how are your customers operating, day to day, and what is CCC doing to kind of add value, for the problems that they come across?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I mentioned a little bit about, and I when we first started, when we saw the slide, I was like, wow, well, this looks complicated. But then in my head, I was like, well, yeah, because it is complicated. It's just more than the website itself. First of all, just starting a website from scratch. We know, as I mentioned earlier, regarding the state of websites in the auto body shop industry in general. If you look at auto body websites, which I started doing when we first started working on this project, and I just went through like the 10 shops in my neighborhood. If they had a website, obviously it was done like 10 years ago. Probably someone from the family, someone's cousin built it up and hasn't been updated since. Like it might have a phone number, it might have an email address, no direct way to interact, right? So even like getting to that basic website is a big hurdle for shops. Shops have not invested in it. It can be different for the big players in the space, like a Caliber, Gerber, Crash Champions. These are the big players, 500, 600 shops. So they obviously have professional in-house management and they build their websites. So we started looking at their websites and said, how can we help get that experience to the mom and pop independent body shop as well, right? Because right now, the 3+ months on average to build that website, yes, it takes that much time to build a website if they even know the direction they want to go. And it's a lot of times it's not affordable to be able to get everything that they wanted. And then we quickly found out website is just part of what we want to provide, right? There's lots of other areas, not just your websites, where people have an online presence, right? You have your profile on Yelp, you have your Google profile, now you have Apple profile, you actually have your shop profile in the car manufacturer, like their GPS systems, right? There's all these different places. And if you have a business, how are you keeping track of all this, right? If you look at the top left, what is my username and password? When we first started working with shops, that's the first thing they told us, actually. So many shops were like, I don't remember my Google business password. If I wanted to go in and add in, even if I wanted to add that info, I don't remember what that is. I'm going to have to find whoever set it up for me, get that up, right? And then some of these other things, right? Where do I check for my reviews? If I get a negative review, how do I manage that? How do I know that customer is going to see that I wanted to address it? Like, what is that? If I update my business hours, right? Do I have to go into every single place and do that, right? So that's kind of, where do I even know where to go? So as easy as it says, like, yeah, you need an online presence and you need to make sure you keep it up to date. That is just kind of impossible for some of the smaller body shops, right? If you are the big player in the space, you have professional teams that are doing all this, but we really wanted to help out those independent body shops to help them easily get that same level of online maintenance that the larger players would be able to do.
Yeah. What when you think of like an auto body shop owner, you don't typically necessarily think the super tech savvy, right? As you mentioned, having a hard time finding their username and password, right? So
Yeah.
how do you kind of overcome that when approaching someone with a solution?
Yeah, so that right from the start, our goal was to make the creation of the website as easy as possible, right? So we kind of went with a templated approach, and we'll probably talk about the solution here in a bit so we can get more into detail about that.
Yeah.
But we wanted to actually cut that 3+ down to how soon can we do it, right? And I think our cycle times now, typically we have a team that kind of guides a customer in getting their website set up. But because of the templated approach and the way we integrate our data from our platform to Duda, the website, I think in about 2 weeks, they're able to take all that. And that's generally because they just take their time. If they wanted to just do it within 30 minutes, for example, and just log in and do it, they could do that as well. So we've made that process very easy. Our focus have been, these people are working on repairs. They're writing estimates on repairs. They're worried about managing their customers that way. They don't have the time or the resources to really manage their websites. That was our approach from the beginning.
Great. Yeah. And what would you say, like, around, convincing them that, like, hey, this is kind of the right solution? Like, how much energy did that take, and how did you guys navigate that?
Yeah, well, this was actually a pretty good learning experience, right? Because we have, like, what we have is this integrated website solution. It's very easy for a repair shop to spin up a website with the solution that we have. But what what is interesting is also is they started asking us like what, based on how much this costs for our body shops, like why are you more expensive than a Squarespace, right? Like I can just do this and for Squarespace for maybe like $20 a month. So we had to that was a good learning experience for us to how to frame the conversation and talk to them about what that integrated solution really means. And then the reputation management aspect is really what helped complete the picture there as well, to be able to provide all of that together, where all of a sudden now with this complete solution that we worked with Duda on, and there's not possible for us to build this out on our own. I'll say that right up front. But the resources that Duda had to help us get to market for this, we could not have done this, right? So all of a sudden it becomes from like maybe a more expensive website offering to a very cost-effective package with everything that we offer, and that is the platform that Duda has to be able to add on apps specifically for reputation management, to be able to add on accessibility apps and just add that on, right? So all my website is now accessibility compliant, and plugins can be added, and I can go in and edit my website anytime, right, using the editor solution that we provide. So a lot of that came together to be able to provide that solution.
Perfect. Yeah. So let's jump into a little bit about the product, right? Like, tell me a little bit more about Amplify is the name of the product here. And we kind of had that previous slide of, why and where it fits in. Maybe you could jump into a little bit more about what the product is and does.
Yeah. So yes, CCC Amplify is what we call this product. And we started initially just with the website part and made it very easy. So what we have is right now we have 10 website templates. And let me just say it's integrated right into our platform. So we have all the shop information already, right, within our platform. Mm-hmm. We have the shop hours, we have the services that they provide, we have the certifications that they operate with, the languages, the payment methods they take. We take all that information and it's directly integrated via API with the Duda platform to be able to push that data to one of the 10 templates that the shop chooses, right? So they can spin up that website very easily, and then using the domain management system that Duda has, we're able to either, if they have an existing domain, we can transfer this website over the domain, or we can create a new domain. So it's really an end-to-end solution. Part of the early fact-finding process was we also needed to provide reputation management solutions. And in fact, initially we thought, okay, we'll just use Duda just for the website part, and let's work on reputation management, and we'll provide that from our platform. But as we got to know more and more about it and learned about what Duda offered in terms of the app add-ons, specifically we work with Uberall, that's on the Duda platform as well. Mm-hmm. We were able to add on all the reputation management tools we needed to be able to provide that to our consumers. And we also have that integrated into our platform. So from the shop directly can go to their reputation management dashboard. If they want, they can go in and manage their website with one click. If they want as well. So all that is possible. And then lastly, the social aspect, this is something that's more emerging in our space as well. Some body shops are more active on social than others, but with that capability to be able to manage all your social, schedule your social posts, that's also a very nice to have on the platform as well.
Yeah. I think a couple of things come to mind for me here. I'd love to dig in a little bit is around that API setup, right? Like we talked to a lot of folks that I think in concept that sounds like a great idea, but may feel like a rather large lift for them in terms of getting all of that set up. Can you tell me a little bit about some of that process? You guys saw on your side. We've got a question here around kind of the instant websites via API. Like what would that do?
Yeah, exactly. Great time of the question. That's exactly what, in terms of the instant API creation. So what we have is leveraging Duda APIs. We first create the site, right? So that site is created. So as soon as we onboard a customer that wants to use Amplify as a service, what we do is we create a site, okay, with Duda. So using APIs. So that nothing has happened with that site yet, but it exists right there. It's a sandbox and it exists on Duda's platform. Then what the shop can do is they can select like one of the 10 templates that I just spoke about. Mm-hmm. And these templates are really optimized for the repair facility industry. So they have all the FAQs that you would want. It has marketing info about your shop. Obviously, all the data that we have, services I talked about, payment methods, other address, contact, all that comes over. And we share all that data via API over to Duda's platform and then show it in the templates via the connected widgets. So on the websites themselves, we have connected widgets. So for example, hours, if someone updates their hours on our platform, the API pushes the hours information over to the connected widget on the template itself, and then it updates it on the website. So they actually don't even have to keep their website up to date. If they update the information in our platform, it'll automatically get updated on Duda's platform on the website. And furthermore, it also gets updated on reputation management. So we know Uberall supports 50 plus listings. So they push your information to those 50 plus listings. And so with one update on our platform, it can update your website, and via the Duda integration and the Duda's integration with Uberall, it pushes us to those 50 plus platforms. So it's an extremely powerful API-based solution in terms of creating that website, in terms of managing that website. And then the last part, I think the process in terms of publish, unpublish, that can be done via API as well. So if you have your domain selected, which has to be done within the white labeled offering that we have from Duda. So our customers don't even realize they have left our platform and gone to Duda's platform. They click on it. It is white label for our customers. They still think they're on our platform. They select their domain, and they never actually have to go back into that editor if they never want to update the look and feel of the website. Again, they can just update their information on our platform, and the website will automatically update. And that's all possible via the API integrations that we have.
That's great. So you mentioned, business hours. What kind of other information are you guys syncing over via API from your system?
Yeah, especially the list specifically, I mentioned a couple of them. So obviously address, info, we have profile, the shop slogan, marketing slogans that we have. We have reviews. So we push over. Oh, I think my light just went out in my room. It's always timing. I will just update. There we go. Okay. It's always fun when you're in the office, different office behavior. So we have, as I mentioned, the reviews widget. So we have reviews on Carwise. We push those reviews over as well. And what we also have is we have connected services. And this is a huge part of our website offering as well. We have appointment services. We have virtual photo estimates. We have AI chat. That's all available for the shop, right? They can enable these experiences. And as I mentioned, the carwise.com, it's kind of like an open table for body shops. So booking appointments and everything's available there. Now, on the shop's own website, we can take that information and bring it right into the website as well. So the shop doesn't have to configure anything. So the website not just has shop information, shop data, but it also has channels in which the consumer can interact with the shop. So if I want to book an online appointment, I can now do that directly from the website. And the shop didn't have to do anything. If they selected a template and they published a website, all that information was all taken over, pushed over in the connected widgets and the connected data that we have via the API integrations, and it's all basically all published and ready to go.
Yeah, that's great. You mentioned widgets there. Like, can you give an example of maybe some of the widgets that you guys are utilizing?
Yeah, so the most common ones are the appointments widgets and the photo estimate. There's two new widgets that we're working on, which is the AI chat. So we have the chat widget also available, where it basically leverages generative AI LLM model, and we've created that widget, and basically it just answers questions about repair process. What does the repair process look like? Do you work with insurance carriers? Do you have a BMW certification? Or do you work on Hondas, right? The generic questions like that. We're really working on converting that over to a lead generation engine. That's something that shops are asking. So we can proactively ask consumers, how can I help you today? Do you have any questions about the repair process? Would you like someone from the shop to contact you? Do you have a specific question we can take over and address to the shop? So we can capture that information, send it over to the shop as a lead generation option. And that is available as well. And then the last one, consumer financing is an emerging space as well. So like buy now, pay later services are really emerging in the space. You're starting to see them everywhere. And we're building that right into the websites as well. So we'll have that opportunity. So if a consumer or a shop leverages that service from us, we can automatically put up that service on the website as well.
Okay, great. Yeah, I mean, this next slide here kind of, we talked a little bit about this, right, with like the customizable templates and some of the other pieces of the platform. I'm curious on the templates. Are you finding shops saying, hey, we would like additional, kind of customization. We don't want to just be one of the 10 templates that maybe our competitors have. And how do you guys approach that?
Yeah, I've seen actually, yes, templates are there. I've seen some shops and have amazing websites that they've put up, and they basically ignored most aspects of our template, right? So the template is there as a starting point. Like, we've created this website for you. The first time you go in, we've taken all your data and put it on the website. But then the shop has the freedom, if they want to edit that in any way that they want. So if they want to change the colors, all the tools are there from the Duda editor perspective to be able to use the drag and drop approach to change everything. And I've actually seen some amazing templates that multi-stores. We had a 4-store, and actually I just found out yesterday we had a 19-store, which we're not even designing the product for 19-store, like multi-store operators. It's really for those independent one-off body shops. But we had a 19-store ramp up, and they had 19 sites, but they decided to only publish one of them. They published all their data they took from all their 19 stores, and they put it on one of the stores' site, and they just published that site. And that is now, for their 19 stores, they're operating. And their digital in-house person used Duda's platform to do the entire thing. Yeah, I was actually quite amazed at that website. I believe it's called Ren's Collision. If anybody wants to take WREN collision.com, if anybody wants to take a look at that as well.
Yeah. So I'm just looking at a comment coming in here. It says you need some amount of templates, otherwise all websites might.
Right? Definitely.
Yeah,
it's interesting. I think one of the things that we'll talk about is our ability to how we can leverage AI to kind of have an infinite number of templates. That one thing we'll save that conversation that's coming up. But yes, I agree. 10 templates is that a starting point. I'm actually happy to, and yes, the websites can start to look alike and have the same information. I've actually been quite pleased at a lot of our customers that use our template as a starting point, and then they've changed it up quite a bit based on how it fits their business.
Yeah. What kind of training and support do you offer for people to be able to get in there and update a website on their own?
Yeah, so that's a great question. When we first started, I said that we wanted to make this as easy as possible, right? Yeah. So we actually wanted to provide a product that our customers can use 100% on their own, right? So you take this editor, you select a template, and the editor is drag and drop, and you'll be able to publish. We quickly found out a little hand-holding was necessary to be real, especially the first parts of it, right? Because unless you're doing websites day in and day out, the whole concept of like a domain is going to be confusing. The site, the domain, I have a website, an existing domain. Am I going to keep this domain? Am I going to move the domain? So we had to do a little hand-holding. And so we have a small team. It's a very small team of maybe 3 to 4 individuals within CCC that work with our entire customer base, right? So our customer base is growing, and we have our overall shop customer base, potential customers for this product, around 20,000 shops or so. But we have a very small team of people that work with it. And they've actually gotten to be experts on the Duda platform now as well, where they're able to, within minutes, get them spinned up and work on the process to get their domain set up, etc.
Yeah. Another question in the chat here is, just are these sites on the traditional editor or 2.0? I'm pretty sure you guys are on 2.0.
Yeah, well, no, actually, we've been having conversations. And
is that right? Okay.
And we've been leveraging the existing. We do plan, because of the capabilities of 2.0, and I'm still learning to understand them, and I think they'll be better optimized for the future in terms of like AI optimization and the things that we want to do with them. We will eventually have to cut over and do 2.0 as well for those Flex editor capabilities. So that is a plan from our side. But 2+ years ago when we started with the older version.
Okay, gotcha. Wonderful. Yeah, thanks for that clarification. We mentioned AI a couple times, and it's on this slide here around SEO assistant. I believe you mentioned it around kind of a chatbot widget that you're trying to develop right now. Is AI something body shops care about? Like, are they kind of curious when they're looking at a website solution that AI is involved there?
Yeah, I mean, we're like most technology companies. CCC is very much focused in seeing how we can leverage AI in all aspects of our business, right? So there's a lot of work happening. We have in-house AI teams that work on insurance companies and like all the AI services that we can use to help streamline them. Specifically for these websites, yes, the tools that Duda provided, there's AI editor or copy if you wanted to create copy. The AI SEO assistant is the tool our in-house team leverages with every customer, right? Getting that information. And all those hashtags and keywords that are generated with the AI SEO assistant. We use that as part of every setup itself. We are using AI in review management as well. So the social and review management that has the Uberall app has that built in for us. So our customers have that ability to reply to reviews and have done that and manage those reviews via AI as well. So we're sprinkling in aspects of the AI and also evaluating. I mentioned the templates as well. Like, can we leverage AI to create a template on the fly with all the connected data that we need to be able to manage that as well? So it's definitely a focus for us in staying, and of course AIO, SEO, that is going to be paramount importance as well.
Right. Yeah, no, thank you for that. Something I wanted to get into here, right? I think, a company like CCC and the size and scale that you guys operate at, you potentially have a lot of resources available, and, something that comes up in conversation fairly often is, hey, why can't I go build this myself? Especially with the, evolution of AI and vibe coding and things of that nature, you might be able to go, spin something up in AI with some help with some developers there. So tell me why you guys chose to, go with a partner like Duda rather than just building it yourself.
See, so right off the bat, what I can say is, if we were going to get into this space where there were already a lot of website options, shops have options, our integration was paramount. Like, we have data about the shop. We wanted to make it easy for the shops and leverage that capability to be able to create websites, right? So any website offering, and I don't think we looked very hard in trying to create our own website offering. That just was not possible with the entrenched players already in the space. So we had to find a partner for the website part of it itself, right? So we needed a partner that could leverage the API capabilities and had a platform for us, not just for the data, but for those other channels, like the photo estimates, automated creation of photo estimate button, automated creation of the book online capability as well. We wanted to be able to take our reviews and push that in. So we needed all those. So you can think we were looking for a partner that doesn't exist. We talked to all the major players in the space and Duda was the only one we talked to at the time that actually had these capabilities in space. So we were kind of a little surprised that someone was out there was such a good match for us. But I say any integrated partner that's out there and that wants to create some kind of integrated solution, I'd say Duda offers all the tools you would need to be able to do that.
Wonderful. Yeah, that's great to hear. I think again, it's a conversation that comes up pretty often, and I think while there's an attractiveness to potentially doing that right away, maybe you feel like you might be able to save some money up front, right? There's that ongoing support that I think you get with a partner that any company that's tried to build instead of buy before, kind of realizes after a certain amount of time, hey, you got to keep up with the industry. You've got to be keeping up on new features, things of that nature. So appreciate you.
Yeah. And then the other aspect, right? Once we got past the websites and we said, okay, we actually thought, okay, let's start integrated. We're going to work with Google and Yelp, and we'll add the reputation management type capabilities, and then understanding the scale of creating a product like that for us. Also, kind of stalled from our side, right? While we have large development teams, we have, as anybody can attest to, there's a million things that the companies are working on. We have a lot of product managers all vying for attention from all these development resources. So actually trying to build out our own reputation management solution was also not feasible. And that's where Duda was actually able to step in and help us out by educating us more about the app platform that it had. And then Uberall was another, when we were searching for this partner, Uberall we found to be a good fit in all those reputation management capabilities as well. And again, the integration, like I said, it is integrated. So data from our platform can go to Duda, and from Duda, it can go to Uberall, right? Makes it really easy for our customers.
Yeah, I think that's a perfect segue into this next slide here, and I think we've actually covered, quite a bit of this here. I think, one question I might have just to kind of kick us off here is how valuable is it having that consistent data, across your whole platform, right? From the back end to the website into, kind of the reputation management side.
Yeah, it's become incredibly valuable with all the, like I said, the 50+ listings all the major listings that I know of, right? So that is kind of unmanageable If you're actually trying to manage, you can say, I just want my business, all I care about is Yelp and Google and Apple, and that's all I'm going to work on. That creates quite a bit of, there's a lot of other sites and a lot of B2B type businesses that don't rely on that data. For example, like MapQuest, right? How do I update my MapQuest data that so many car manufacturers and others might be leveraging for that, right? So there are platforms that need to be stay in sync. So with having, part of searching is like these search engines do look for consistent data across sites to have your business be looked at as more reputable as well. So it is incredibly important to have consistent data in terms of what you can do across the various platforms that are out there now.
Yeah, great. And then, just moving right along here. Next, I'd wanted to talk a little bit about, what this looks like in action. And you've got a neat case study here that maybe you could expand on with Frank's Collision Center.
Yeah, so I talked about the multi-stores, right? So we have our solutions really focused for the individual store to get their website up and published. And then someone from our sales team probably talked to Frank's Collision Center about it. And Frank said, well, can we just get that and do it for our platform, right? We wanted to be at 4 stores. So, we worked with Duda to kind of figure out how we could do that. And we said, okay, let's go ahead. Frank has an in-house team of people that they do that. So they're going to change what you see here. It's kind of hard to see in the small thing, but if you go to Frank's Collision Center's website, that looks nothing like our existing templates, right? So they took that as a baseline and they completely modified it and they added all their locations and all the pages for that. They did all of that on their own, and they were able actually to do it from start to finish in using Duda's tools in about 30 days. And then they used the reputation management as well, which was minimum setup. We just had to connect their 4 stores to their Google profiles, had to connect their Yelp accounts. They logged in via their Facebook accounts as well, very easy for them to do. And then, of course, what we saw, as we've seen with all our customers that leverage this capability, their online presence, their score, that just jumps up right away, right? Within the first few weeks of having this published and being out there, that we see a jump in their online following. Their Facebook following increased. Frank's used our website for job applications as well. So they used for careers page, and they saw 5+ job. They already started to get in automatically job applications the first 90 days, right? So these are all. These are not things that you necessarily think about, like in terms of like getting the shop up, but it is important for these. They look at these metrics closely. I know Frank's follows their metrics. They use Duda's analytics dashboard that's well to manage their site activity and the site traffic, and they're definitely using their reputation management dashboard that Uberall provides as well to kind of manage their overall activity on this. So yeah, great case study here. This is Frank. I just also found out there was a 19th store just the other day. Ren's Collision, I mentioned that.
Yep.
And they also set up same concept. They had 19 stores, and they set up one of those stores as their primary website and published that. But they're managing their reputation. They're using the reputation dashboard for all 19 stores as well. So it's good mix and match. For our customers, they can use either or. They can use the reputation. Again, that's what Duda allows that. If they only want to use the reputation management tools, they can do that. If they want to only use the website tool, they can do that. Of course, everything works better if you use both of them. But that flexibility is there for our customers to be able to use the aspect of this product that they need to.
Sure. There's a couple of stats on here, right? 4 websites launched in 30 days, time to publish reduced dramatically. I'm curious, do you feel that having the solution embedded into your platform, does that kind of speed up the launch time?
Yes, that definitely speeds up. In fact, there was the very first time, like we were basically piloting this with a store here in Chicago, and I actually went there and I sat with them, and this was like the first customer we're trying to get on board and published. And the lady said that she's been working on either Squarespace or one of the existing providers there for a few months. And I said, well, we can have your website, up and running here. And she said, well, how many times are you going to have to come back to be able to do something like that? I said, well, we can walk through it. I can get you up and running in about 30 minutes. And she just did not believe me, right? So That's, of course, me working with the customer, hand-holding them to be able to do something like that. But when she first saw it end to end like that, she thought it was magic, right? Because she had been working on a solution like this, right? So the time we closely track the time to publish. like I said, our teams, just like any metric, once that customer buys our product, we want to get them published, right? So of course we encourage them to go in. We tell the shop, update your logos, update your shop hours on our platform, get ready, right? We're going to take all your data and we're going to get it published to your website. But we tell them, get all your data up to date and get it ready on our platform, and then we'll get your website published. So that actually takes the bulk of the time, is a customer. And I imagine any intake, like if you might have clients, if it has clients that kind of do more of a manual intake process, I can imagine that you have to speak to the customer, you have to get information about their business, right? Sometimes that can take time to get all the information, and then you have to find a way to translate all that and publish the website itself. So we've tried to automate any of that, but depending on some customers, that can take time. But really, it's how fast they want to put in their data into the profile on our platform, and the faster they do it, the website publishing itself can just take minutes.
And it sounds like a great value for the small businesses that you're working with. Tell me a little bit about what does that mean for CCC, right? The ability to get those sites launched quicker, 4 over 30 days as an example, right? How does that translate into your team's efficiency and, the amount of people you have maybe on a particular project, things of that nature?
Yeah, it's really, like I said, we have a very small team that manages this and they do, I think right now, we can say that we're onboarding about 50 shops a month, right? And so for those 50 shops a month, we have a team of about 3 people that's just, they'll schedule time with them. They'll give them a checklist saying, go into this area of your CCC product, put in your logo, put in your hours and everything, just like you would, because that information goes to carwise.com. So a lot of shops already have that. It's like managing your digital directory that you have with us. But some shops need a little extra love and care. Maybe the logo is kind of like, okay, let's get your logo updated. It's kind of a little small, it's a little fuzzy. How about we update your logo on this? And so we help them out with that as well. But our team, like I said, our team has become experts on the Duda platform. So we're really fast in getting them ramped up. And really, there's no plans to increase the size of the team right now.
Yeah.
Based on the way we're onboarding, we're able to more than handle it.
Yeah, that's wonderful. It sounds like it's really a recipe for the ability to scale, whenever, the time is right, and be able to really translate that with a smaller team without having to add a bunch of overhead, but still being able to see the growth necessary.
Yeah, absolutely. That was my main concern. I think we would have said in the beginning, like, okay, we don't need a team at all, right? Just like let our customers self-serve. We would have loved that, right? But I think in the process of just the websites, there's inherently, even if you are a technology very savvy, there can be complications or just things that just you need handholding as a business. And our customers, frankly, we pride ourselves on our NPS score, and we're very hands-on. So we will be proactively wanting to make sure that, the customer has a good experience. We want to help them as well.
Yeah, awesome. That's great to hear. You've mentioned reputation management a few times, and kind of the app store inside of Duda and the ecosystem there. Maybe you could expand on that a little bit here. Just it sounds like Uberall is a good partner of yours that you guys work with. Tell me a little bit more about the reputation management side.
Yeah, so we've made three Duda apps available within the platform as our standard baseline offering, right? So all the templates, they'll get this. They'll get the reputation management, Uberall, for their online management tool. They'll get a Google reviews widget that we add on for them from Duda's platform as well. And then we have an accessibility widget. So that's our starter. We start with that. We give them all 3, and then we kind of give them a tour of like all the other types of apps available on Duda's platform if they want to add something to their website itself, right? So that is part of our reputation management, is now part of our baseline offering. And like I said, a lot of our customers are just using the reputation management part. They might be okay with their website. They don't feel comfortable transitioning yet, but they're like, okay, let me at least get up. They see the value of the reputation management now, because everyone has the Google profile and Yelps and everything. So they definitely see the value in terms of having consistent data online. They want to be able to manage all the reviews in one place, right? So it pulls in Google reviews, your social media, what people are saying on Facebook. Yelp reviews are all coming into one single interface within reputation management. So they're managing the reviews from there. It's become just like, as you know, it was maybe initially we thought website is a bulk 80-20, website 80%, reputation is 20. I'd say right now it's kind of like 50-50, right? They're both equally important.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, I think I mean, when you think of the reputation management, right? There's reviews online, like it's ever important to be able to kind of serve that information up properly, and then of course all of the accessibility and the additional tools that you offer there, just a necessary part of the business. So.
Yep.
Let's talk about what's next here, Ripple. We've got like 5-10 minutes left here. Want to jump into like what's next for you guys? What does the roadmap look like, and how are you going to evolve?
Yeah, I would love, and I harp on Terry, who we work with on a monthly basis, but I harp on her all the time. We got to have this AI templates, right? You guys are already working on the AI templates.
Yes.
But imagine, like, from our perspective, like upload your logo and provide some details about your business. And we want to be able to create an AI generated template. But for us, we have the clear differentiator of our integration, right? So we want that template to have all the connected widgets. Yes. That's there. But then now you go from 10 templates to an infinite number of templates. You can say, what style do you want, right? Like, I want a more professional, I want a modern website, things like that, right? So whatever you want to do. So that is a direction, and I would love to have that sooner than later in the platform. But that is something in terms, and likely we'll have to jump to Editor 2.0 to potentially make that happen as well. But that is something, a direction that we want to go to. Talked about some of our additional capabilities that we're working on. So since I work on all sorts of consumer-facing aspects, so we have payment solutions, we have repair status trackers, we have repair authorization forms, we have all these things that websites need to be able to more streamline to be effectively run that business. So we want to take all that and make that as a part of the standard offering. So basically improving the capabilities that, again, you can go out there and build your website. You will have to think about these 10 things you need to add to this website as a minimum, right? Or you can leverage our solution, which will instantly build out these 10 things for you, right? So creating that a more compelling website solution is also very important to us. And that gets into where what we're actually started doing is all the new things that we're working on, we kind of leverage, even internally, our sales team leverage these websites to showcase these CCC and innovations as well, right? So we have this AI chatbot. Well, we can drop this chatbot right into your website, right? And now you have an AI solution that's available for customers 24/7. We can, as an intake form, we can grab their information, we can send it to the shop as a lead, and that can be done very easily, right? You don't have to hire some in-house, or you don't have to go out to your website team or whoever it is to manage all that for you. You want to make that out as easy as possible. So lots of potential here to go and kind of build out what we have. But I really, really like the solution and the partnership that we have so far, because frankly, like if we were to build something like this on our own, I really don't know what kind of capabilities outside of the basic website that we would have, right? We would have a basic website and maybe some of our templates or some of our channels in terms of appointments, but there's no way we could keep up with the pace of innovation that's really needed to keep improving websites.
Yeah, I think you mentioned at the beginning there, right? The idea of these, AI generated templates and being able to have certain aspects of your website in place, of your design in place, such as the logo and, particular widgets, that you want to be in specific places. And, we're really excited for that to come here soon. And our team's working hard on it. So, hopefully we'll have more to share with you and the group, soon on that. But again, right, we've talked about AI throughout this conversation here, and kind of like what is it today? What are shops asking? What does it look like tomorrow? Is there anything else you'd want to add to that that we haven't covered yet?
Yeah, I mean, I think there's value. Like when I was, I think the Duda conference earlier in the year, we saw tools that your team is, the agentic AI tools that your team is leveraging to help your clients create websites. I think that I saw the demo that you guys put together. That was amazing. Mm-hmm. Or actually, it was a live, not even a demo. You guys were actually doing it live in your conference, and that was great to see. And it really, I think we have done a lot of that with our integration, right? So I think the next step is we talked about some of these AI capabilities, but some of these, how can we potentially leverage your innovations that you're doing and improve our products, whether that's some of the agentic services, the ideas are endless, so where we can go. So that's really where I'm thinking of, where it's like keeping up to date on your innovations and seeing how that could apply and best fit for our customers.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that. I think, as we, are coming to a conclusion here, I want to encourage the chat to, if you guys have any final questions for Ripple, please chime in here. Happy to get those answered. One other question I have here, Ripple, is like, how did you guys decide on, what is your go-to-market strategy? How did you decide on it? How are customers finding CCC?
Yeah, so like I think I alluded to this. So the go-to-market was initially, so we're going to just it's going to be self-serve, right? That was all self-serve. So now we've kind of settled in on a little bit of an initial setup, right, in terms of going to market. So I said, I think we have a 2-week cycle time in between when a customer actually gets this product as an add-on, and then their websites or their reputation management is set up, right? It's the time it takes is about, typically an appointment is about, we do 2 1-hour sessions with them, right? So the 1 hour is like, make sure you get all this information, this is how it can work. And the second meeting our team has with them, we get them set up or published, right? That's our goal by the second meeting, to get them connected or get that website published. And then in terms of like customer, the metrics, we have seen, like we said, we see general uplift in terms of like their online presence that we see. We've had very little churn. Naturally, some customers will kind of take this or say, okay, I still prefer the more cost-efficient solution that we have, right? There is some of that, but overall churn has been very little in terms of the customers, and feedback has been, fantastic in terms of there's been more of the frank collision types than not, right? So customers are very happy with the capability and our solution. And I will also repeat, I think keeping things in, like keeping the illusion that the customers are in our platform the whole time has been important, because shops do value privacy as well, right? They want to make sure their data is secure, they're private. So if they're getting bounced around from platform, while that is unavoidable, right? We can, of course, we work to keep the data as secure as possible, but having the white label look of the platform is also huge. And that's been very critical as well, to make the customers feel secure and comfortable in the capabilities as well. So I'd say overall, go-to-market we've really shifted it into like this products out there now. As I mentioned, about 50 sales per month. It's really just about keeping that momentum going. And then if there is opportunities, like once we have that AI-based editor out there or AI templates, I think that's an opportunity for us to remarket to our customers. And potentially you could have shops that want to update, right? I saw in the comments, someone wants a retro website. I love that idea, right? Having a really cool vintage website, vintage cars, right, in the auto industry space. So I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, wonderful. Well, Ripple, this takes us right up to our time. I just want to thank you for the time today and just the conversation and the partnership that you've had with Duda over the past couple of years. It's been wonderful to team up with you and the company, and really looking forward to kind of what's to come. And sounds like a lot of fun things on the horizon. And just again, really want to thank you and thank everyone in the chat for tuning in today. And don't hesitate to reach out to us here at Duda or even Ripple at CCC with any questions or that you might have.
Awesome. Yeah, it's great talking to you, Austin, and fantastic. Love working with the Duda team. I just like to thank you for this opportunity to come on and talk about it. I could talk about it this all day. Trust me, I love this stuff. Otherwise, I just like to wish everyone a happy holidays. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Happy holidays. Thanks, Ripple. Take care.
Thank you.
Duda puts your brand front and center. With Duda's extensive white label